Knicks fans, are we actually going to see a starting lineup change? Because that seems like a drastic move to make when you're already 60 plus games into the season. Mike Brown already told us that he was at his wits' end with the starting lineup after that Warriors game, and now, hours before tip-off against Indy, the injury report just nuked the rotation. Jalen Brunson is doubtful with a cervical strain and ankle management, as well as Mitchell Robinson, who's questionable with back tightness for tonight's game. But also, we got another game tomorrow, a second night of a back-to-back against Memphis over there. And the Knicks are officially backed into a corner, and by the time you're already watching this Wednesday morning, we will know if this depth is real or if the second seed pursuit is slipping through our fingers. No more talking, we are in the Grand Theft Alvarado era tonight, because let's break down what this means for Mikal, the young guys, and Mike Brown's ultimatum. If Jalen sits, Jose Alvarado is the engine tonight. This is actually the most interesting part of the crisis. How does Mikal Bridges look with a high-pace, high-pressure point guard like Jose? Mikal's offensive slump has been the story, but maybe a lineup shift forced by injury is exactly what gets him easy transition buckets. And don't sleep on Tyler Kolek, who's been out of the rotation recently. With the backcourt thin, Kolek is finally going to get the backup minutes, I assume, that fans have been begging for. If he cannot really facilitate against a high-octane Indy team, we're in for a long night, but we need that focus Mike Brown was talking about right from the jump. Based off my analysis from watching these recent Knicks games where they would start slow and then end up heating up, I would say that's because of Jalen Brunson, specifically because he's not really passing the ball as much as we need to. But sometimes the great looking stats that he gives, like he scored 30 points and 9 assists against the Warriors, they could be deceiving. And you might wonder, how is he not passing the ball enough if he dropped 9 assists against the Warriors? I would say because he has moments where he plays hero ball when he should not. I believe for the first 3 quarters or so, he should be passing the ball more than he's scoring, and then in the 4th quarter, he would take over. Because this team thrives the most like you would see against Denver when the ball is moving. When everyone touches the rock, that's when it feels like it's most cohesive. Because another thing is that when the ball is moving, it does affect the Knicks on defense in a positive way. Of course, in a perfect world, your offensive involvement or lack thereof should not affect your defensive effort, but it does for the Knicks. But when it comes to Mikal Bridges specifically, I think that his leash is definitely shortened right now. Now, if Mike Brown actually makes a move to the starting lineup, Mikal Bridges seems like the most obvious candidate to be benched. And I would say Landry Shamet probably has the advantage over the other guys from the bench to be the starter. Now, the bench would probably look like Jose Alvarado, Jordan Clarkson, Mikal Bridges, Mohamed Diawara, and Mitchell Robinson. And on paper, that's a really good-looking bench. Listen, politics aside, this is about winning, and winning it all is the goal for this season, so we gotta do whatever it takes to get that goal. And if Mitchell Robinson cannot go with that back tightness, I would assume Ariel Hukporti gets the nod over him, and maybe Jeremy Sochan as well. Mike Brown asked for physicality last game, well, he's about to get it. Hukporti has shown some flashes of being a rim-protecting beast, and Sochan is the ultimate chaos factor. If these guys can lock down the paint against the Pacers tonight and possibly tomorrow as well against the Grizzlies, it proves the Knicks' identity is bigger than just Jalen Brunson. This is the sink or swim moment for the depth that Leon Rose built, but before we get deeper into the Knicks rotation, I want to talk about actually putting your Knicks knowledge to the test. Usually we'll just argue in the comments about where we will finish in the East, but I've started using Kalshi, today's video partner, to actually trade on those opinions. Because at one point or another, we've all made predictions about how things are going to play out, and how many times have you watched a game and thought, I called that, or said, if I had a dime for every time I guessed that, what would happen? And with Kalshi, you can now, and even make money from your predictions. I'm looking at the Knicks win totals on Kalshi right now. Even with Brunson and Mitch banged up, the market only has us at a 16% chance to hit 55 wins on the season. To me, that is a massive undervalue. I'm taking the yes contracts at 32 cents because I think our depth is better than the market realizes. You also see us at 46% to take the Atlantic Division over Boston right now. If we handle business tonight, that value is gone, so I'm trading on it now. Each contract pays out $1 if you're right. It's that simple. With Kalshi, they're the largest legal prediction market in the US. Now, it's important to understand that this is not a sports book where you're fighting against the house. It's a peer-to-peer financial exchange, kind of like the stock market but for real-world events. You can trade on almost anything, from whether the Knicks finish as a top 3 seed, to Fed interest rate cuts, or even the Oscars. It's all CFTC regulated, so it's completely legal in all 50 states. So don't just watch what happens next, trade on it with Kalshi and potentially win some profit. If you use my link kalshi.com/KNYT or scan the QR code on the screen, Kalshi is giving you a bonus. You get $20 when you trade your first $20. It's a great way to support the channel and see if your Knicks takes are actually profitable. Hit the link in the pinned comment or the top of the description to claim that $20 bonus. Now keep in mind, tonight is just half the battle. We play Memphis tomorrow. If Mike Brown has to run the bench 30 plus minutes tonight because the starters come out flat again, what's left in the tank for tomorrow? This is the ultimate coaching test. Does he stick with the starters even if they struggle, or does he let the young guns like Hukporti and Diawara ride if they are the ones playing with heart? The next 48 hours will define our season, but let me know in the comments, are you worried about the 3rd seed with Jalen and Mitch banged up, or do you think the bench mob saves us? And tell me what you traded on Kalshi. Are you buying the dip on those 55 wins like I did? Don't forget to use the link in the description or pinned comment for that $20 bonus. I'll be in the comments responding to you guys, but it's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.